Alright, alphabet tier list. Ready, set, go. Okay, A. It's a letter. It's a very iconic letter. First letter of the alphabet. I mean, it doesn't get much more iconic than that. It's used a lot. It's a great vowel. Unfortunately, I won't be able to put A in A tier because it's just that good. Alright, B. B's pretty cool. It's the first consonant. Is it as iconic as A? No, but it's pretty darn useful. So I'm putting it in A tier. So A in S tier, B in A tier. Makes sense, right? Alright, C. Alright, now C is where the issues start. C is one of those letters that can't quite decide what it wants to be. Does it want to make a K sound or a S sound? Alright, D. D is another pretty iconic consonant. Not quite as iconic as B, but it's still pretty good. Gets a lot of good usage. I really like it. B tier. Alright, E. The most commonly used letter. You see it everywhere. E plays a lot of different roles. It has a lot of variations in the way it sounds and plays different roles grammatically. Now, while the E does have that stupid silent E role, it doesn't quite outbalance the fact that it's just so iconic. Alright, F. Now, surprisingly, I'm not going to put F in F tier because F's pretty cool, alright? It's very straightforward. It makes the F sound. There's not really much else to it. I'll get to its imposters later. A tier. Alright, G. I'd say that G is a true G, but we once again have the same problem with C. It can't quite decide if it wants to make the G sound or the J sound. I'm really not into this wishy-washy, can't make its own mind up letters, alright? I have to put it in C's for strange properties. Alright, now H. This is a straightforward letter, alright? It makes one sound. The only thing that it combines with is S, which is another iconic letter that I'll get to later, and it's really just a great letter. I'd say it has some times where it's a bit of a filler letter in words, but other than that, I'm going to be putting it in A tier. We've reached our third vowel here at I. I really like I. There's something about it that's just very appealing. The only other letter in the alphabet that has two parts to it is J, which isn't nearly as cool as I. I is also a word in and of itself that we use every day, so we really get to see this one a lot. I really like I. I'm going to have to put it in A tier. Not quite as iconic as A or E, but still an amazing vowel. J. I's less cool cousin, but you know what? It's still got its perks. Unlike G, it knows exactly what it is. It's just J. It's always J. It's never anything else. It doesn't have any weird pairings. It's not a filler letter. It's just very straightforward. I love straightforward letters. I'm going to have to put it in B tier. Here we go, K. Now, see, with C, we had that issue with the S and K confusion. That's not here, alright? K definitely knows the sound it makes. It makes K, alright? Except for when it doesn't, because it's one of those silent front letters. Knife, night. Where is K? Why is it there? It's just filler. It's not helping anyone. And on top of it being a silent letter at the beginning of some words, it also likes to pair up with C just to make the K sound anyway, except K already makes the K sound. Why do you need C to also make the K sound? C can make the K sound by itself, K can make the K sound by itself. You don't need both to make the K sound. Ugh, anyway, K, you're pissing me off. I put you in strange properties, but due to just how strange you are, I'm gonna have to put you in not very useful. Alright, L. Now L here won't be taking as much of an L as K did, but L is still pretty okay. It's got a very simple design, just a line. Even in cursive, it's just a nice simple long loop. L is an extremely straightforward letter. It makes one sound, doesn't have any weird pairings. I'd say the only true drawback of L is the need for it to have another L by its side, but I can sort of understand due to its thin stature, it needs another one of its own to feel really seen in a word. So I can't really blame him too much. I'm gonna have to put it in pretty good. M. Now there's something about M that just tickles me. I don't know if it's those big arches, but there's just something about it. I don't know. It's straightforward. Doesn't have any weird filler moments. Doesn't have any weird combinations. It's just always great. I love it. I wouldn't say it's quite iconic, but I have to put it in very useful. Now to M's younger brother, N. Alright, N, now living up to a sibling as great as M, I know it's pretty hard, but you do a pretty darn good job at it. Now N, while you don't quite have the power of M, you still carry a lot of weight. Small in stature, has a lot of power. The fact that you're right next to O in the alphabet really just emphasizes how powerful the letter N is, because there's no way that I'm putting you in anything less than A tier. Alright, now O. We finally got into another vowel, and oh boy, is this one a doozy. There's something about this vowel. It's used in combination with several other letters to make sounds that no other letter can make. I'd say it's just as iconic as A and E, possibly even more so with its simple design of just being a circle. The circle's so iconic, and that's why it's going in S tier. Alright, now P. Great letter. It has that very powerful lip-based pronunciation just like B, and honestly, I think it deserves to be right up there with it. And oh, wait. Hold on. P and H. No. No. This is all wrong. I've just remembered that P and H create one of the most sinful, useless combinations of letters in the entire English lexicon. Why do you need PH? You have F right here. I put F in very useful. It's a great letter, great design, great sound, great usage in words. Why do you need PH? It's literally just riding off the back of F, which I find incredibly disrespectful, alright? It's so unnecessary. In fact, for P and H, for you stealing that hard, I'm not going to put you in F, but you're getting demoted to D, alright? Both of you. I can't believe that I'd let this slide, alright? You don't deserve to be in the same tier with B and F. Okay. Oh boy, it looks like our dumb letter marathon isn't over because we made it to Q. Oh my goodness, Q. Why? Q, you spark a question in me. In that, why should you exist? Now, I'm going to explain myself why I've put you here. Number one, you are the only letter that 100% of the time requires another letter, U, which is a far better letter than Q. The fact that Q needs to survive off of U is just lazy. And the sound, qu. Couldn't I just make that with a K and a W? Qu. It's not that hard, alright? Q, you're useless. You use U to your advantage. The sound you make isn't that unique. It can be replicated with other letters, alright? And to be honest, you just stole P's design, which I know P, we just disrespected you, but at least you did it first, alright? Q's just unoriginal in every way possible, and that's why it should be removed. Woof. Okay, after all of that, I'm so glad to make it back to some incredible letters. R. I love R, alright? The way it sounds, it appears in so many languages in so many different ways. You can roll your R's, you can have them short and sweet, and has good pairings with other letters. I'm gonna have to put it in A. Alright, S. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but the vowels have been hogging up the iconic spots, and I think it's time. I think it's time to give a consonant the spot in iconic, because wow, what a letter. Using combination with H to make the sh sound. It has an incredibly simple and straightforward sound, and even its one combination with another consonant, H, has a pretty similar sound to the original. I love it. I can't see S being anywhere else but S tier. T, another great common letter. Its cross design is extremely memorable. It has great letter combinations. Not much to say about it, just A tier. Now U. I mentioned U earlier when we went over Q and the monstrosity that it is. Now while I do like you, I say you fall short compared to your other vowel companions, who are just a lot more impressive than you. But that doesn't mean that you're bad by any means. I think that you serve a lot of purpose. You find your way into a lot of words and make a lot of interesting combinations with other letters. I'll put you in pretty good. V has quite a unique sound and a very simple design that I really like. Not overcomplicated, doesn't overstay its welcome in any word. It's in and out while also being very memorable. A tier. W. Now, while I could criticize you for copying V's homework, I really find the greater sin with you to be your name, W. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but U has this distinct curve shape, and W, well, you just don't. You copied the look of V and the name of U. Now, I'll give it to you. The sound you make, pretty nice. It's unique, just like V, so at least you're not completely unoriginal. But I still can't see you getting any higher than C tier. Ah, X. We've made it to the inverse of ABC. X, Y, Z, the final three. And we start off, well, I wouldn't say strong, but definitely interesting. X is one of those letters that isn't too common, but tends to sneak its way into words sometimes. Now, while you are able to replicate the sound of X with other letters in the alphabet, it would likely require at least 3 letters to recreate the sound, so I'd say that X does serve some purpose. Also, the simple design of 2 intersecting lines is extremely iconic, and so because of all that, I'll have to put it in B tier. Alright, now Y. Y is really interesting because it feels like a mishmash of several other letters. It's got the look of V, but with that swoop of J, and it even sounds like the letter E. Now, I've expressed some disdain for letters that can't quite decide what they want to be in the past, C, G, they just rub me the wrong way. And Y has some similar properties. Is it a vowel? Is it not? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but you know what? Despite the fact that it takes from so many other things, I think it creates a really interesting letter The way it's often used mainly for adverbs is quite an interesting role to play, so I don't find it totally useless. I'd say it has strange properties, but it's definitely one of the best of this tier. Alright, and finally, we've made it to Z. Z. You know, I've praised other letters for being extremely common, and, well, Z, I can't say that you're anything close to common, but you serve a special purpose. The last one. Oftentimes in a long journey, there can be ups and downs, but if the ending's strong, then it's all worth it. And I gotta say, the ending is strong, because Z is so iconic. I mean, just singing the alphabet the whole way through, it's one after the other. And yet when you arrive at the end, you get a special little send-off. X, Y, and Z. I think you're extremely iconic. Alright, so that's the tier list. If you hate it, great. If you like it, even better. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed now. And remember, Q can take a long walk off a short bridge. Please do, right now. We don't need you. No one wants you anymore. Please.